The Detroit Lions 53-man roster, or 50, has been set. Let's talk about it. I'm the doc, John Macaroon. This is the Detroit Lions on SI Lone Wolves podcast. Let's have a conversation. Definitely at 4 o'clock when I saw how the roster shook out. Definitely, I found it from the Detroit Lions website. I was all over it. I knew where to look, and I was the first to look and post about Ahmed Hassanin. We'll talk all about it. What does it mean? The Lions roster has been set. It's only got 50 people on it. We're going to go through it. I want to share with you guys a little bit of fun stuff behind the scenes. I was texting agents left and right today. I was literally at Tim Hortons with my best friend on earth. We were laughing and we were joking about the process. Agents were texting me as I was having coffee with my guy. We were learning and breaking stuff down. It was an interesting experience. My man, Kenny, you know how much love I have for you. You actually, my man from East Point, the guy I've known since 6 years old, makes me a better reporter. We had fun. We laughed. I was like, I can't believe these agents are texting me back. This is a great opportunity to learn and grow. We joked around. You guys came to my defense. I'm humbled. I'm humbled that I made a request yesterday and people that didn't actually see it went to the other reporters and said, hey, how come you don't trust the doc? That it was humbling. I just want to share that. Thank you. That was really nice. I shared it. I was telling my best friend the story, just joking around, like, all the trackers were wrong. The whole, and me sitting there knowing that every reporter that had a tracker was wrong. And they shared it publicly. It was weird. Like you sit there and you go, man, I know something that 9 other reporters are not reporting. And it was weird. So I was telling my friend and talking about it. And then I'm like, yeah, and I told on my podcast, I told the listeners if they would go and defend me to someone else. It's just being lighthearted. And being lighthearted, then a tweet came in and said, hey, reporter, how come you didn't document what Doc wrote? You're a trusted guy. I was going to start crying in Tim Hortons. It was really nice. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, what bit you're talking about. I don't know what you're discussing. He's like, I just think you're trustworthy. And I want to know why you're counting this lineman on the team when he's not. He's been cut. That was really nice. You guys do trust me. And that's really all you could ask for. So I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys joking around with Hefe and Booner as they learn and grow how this process works. And, let's talk about, obviously, we're going to look at the roster. Just want to say hi to everybody. Welcome. We're going to have a discussion about the roster, each decision. And it's interesting because I think a lot of people are looking at the edge rushers going, wait a minute, there's 3 open roster spots. So I'm trying, and I always want people to know I'm trying my hardest to give you the real information. It's just weird for me to know that people know who I am and then are willing to have their trackers online be completely wrong. It's just weird to me, but it's interesting. I can honestly say for this round only, I had one of the accurate trackers along the way. They were just missing one, but that's fine. But thank you guys. We'll talk all about it. I'm getting information right now as we speak. That's how much I love this job and love sharing information with you guys. That's what I'm bringing you. I'm literally texting information now to see if I can help calm nerves, figure stuff out, and learn as we grow. So I don't want to be a pest. That's what I'm going to share right now. I wanted to give you guys information. That's the job. But first and foremost, in the comments, help me warm up a little bit too. What do you think about when you see the first 53-man? I'm going to go through it. What do you guys think when you see the roster? Are you concerned about the edge depth? Are you concerned that they let go of Meeks? We're going to go through it here. I looked at the roster and said, okay, I started looking first at the injuries, and it kind of went exactly according to plan with Turner, with McNeil, with everything that went on. And like I said, it gives them room to add if they look around or for guys to come back. So let's start with it. Let's go through it and let's talk it through. Welcome in everybody. Let's talk through the roster here. Let me pull it up. I just posted it online. You can see it. The initial 53-man roster. It's everywhere. But we'll go through it piece by piece. Initially, my thoughts are okay, reasonable to the degree that it was pretty much outside of Dan Skipper, Jackson Meeks, reasonable that the couple pieces that were let go were very reasonable. I feel like Maurice Norris, you kind of had a feeling it might have gone that way based on, his play. There was a debate between Kennelly and Strickland. They went with Strickland. And so, just like Tony G gets in and says, it's not really too shocking of moves. Tony G, my man, I am honestly not shocked by any of the roster moves. Did any of the moves concern you guys? Boy, there's a bunch of fans very upset and hurt. We're going to go through that. I'm trying to bring you guys information to give you the context of something I think that people are being emotional now, but I think was going to turn out reasonably in the favor of the player and the Lions. So, and like I said, hopefully the dialogue goes well and hopefully the answers coming through now I can share with you. I have a good feeling that the news was shocking at first to see, but I think reasonably there's a reasonable expectation. And with football, there's no guarantees, guys. It's all depending on tests and depending on stuff, but I will bring you the context. Okay, it's football is a tough, brutal sport, and unfortunately, people get the understanding of how tough it is physically. If spots are needed, teams, it's a tough business. It's a tough business, and NFL means not for long. But when we talk about players, the ones that we're going to talk about, trust me, when I say that they're gritty and they'll work hard and they'll make the best of the situation, whether it be in Detroit or not, trust me, a player like Ahmed Hassanin is going to be just fine. He's Egyptian. He's got the Middle Eastern blood. Whatever happens, if it's a setback now, he will be okay. He's got good family around him, got the integrity and the grit. But unfortunately, it's a never-ending moving on business. And the Lions, listen, when it comes to business, they were willing to part ways with Hendon Hooker, Broderick Martin. They understood mistakes quickly and move on. That's the dirty side. That's why when you see Dan Campbell on Monday, he truly is hurt. He does care. But Brad Holmes is the executioner. He's tasked with making sure the roster is in the best position possible. And I think that Brad Holmes has earned that trust. But also, too, it's a business. Players got to do what's good for them, and they got to do what's good for the team. And that's how it goes. So we'll talk about Ahmed Hassanin in a short second here. But I want to show you the roster. And here's how it went. And I'm going to go through it, and I'll have the screen up. You can tell me as we talk about it what your thoughts are. I will share your assessments. Any super chats, get right to the front of the line. There's no rush for me. I can be here for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. We can have a football discussion. And I'm humbled and thankful that the people that I message understand my job, understand that I am not a pest. That's the last thing I want to be, is a pest. So I messaged agents and people for information once or twice, and I just hope that they respect the process. Understanding that that's the last thing on earth I want to be, is annoying. I'm a psychologist. I want to uplift people. But my job is to get information. That's my job. And for the people here, I'm committed to that. Moving forward, that's the job. And sometimes you're going to have some tougher conversations than you're comfortable with, but I'll do that for you guys, the 500 people here. All I can ask of you is smash the like button, engage, be part of the process, and trust what you hear from me. And in turn, I'll bust my butt to get as much information to you that I know. And I think you guys have realized that now. This is my 38th straight broadcast in a row. I think I could do 100. I could probably do 365. I could probably do 700. I could do this every day. But after Thursday, Friday, I'm taking a break, maybe 5 days, and I will not come on here. 40, 41 days in a row is wild. But let's get to the roster. Tell me what you think as we talk. We're going to go piece by piece. There's no rush. We're going to get after it. Now, Tony, here's the thing. Lions troll. That is a possibility, but there's no guarantee. We got to stay in the present. I have to keep it real with you. There are conversations potentially being had, but there's no guarantee because there's other factors we don't know. What kind of offers could be made from somebody else? We don't know the personal reaction of the player. But of course, it's a possibility. We're going to talk about it. But if you're upset about the Ahmed news, it is shocking, but it's just one of those deals where it opens up spots for the team and potentially helps the team in manners in which they need certain spots. That's the way it is. And guys, it's a brutal nature of the business. The best ability in football is availability. That's why players do panic and don't openly talk about injuries. That's why. Is they're always saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good. Because any hint of injury, the organization could cut you, waive you. Tony G, my man, I am humbly honored you keep checking in and donating to the show. Thank you. $25 super chat. Follow suit, guys. Tony has been appreciative. He understands how the doc flows, and he supports the show. And in turn, I'm willing to grind and be accurate and fair and revealing as to my feelings about being ignored. I'm human. Now, of course, not everybody, I have to be humble. Not everybody's going to be tuning into the @Detroit podcast page, but the 9 people that I expect to be tuning in aren't. That's not right. I don't expect the whole world to follow me, but I expect 9 people to follow me. That's their job. We'll talk about it because you guys brought me, like I said, almost to a full stop to get after it. Price of poker just went up, boys and girls. Just kidding. In appreciation of Doc's hard work is all. Man, I'm humbled, man. Tony, you're just too kind. I respect your profile photo there. I get excited to see you guys in the chat. There's almost 500 people in here. Smash the like button, super chat. You're a welcome member of the community. Almost the VIP. My right-hand guy. Tony G, man, I appreciate you. I never would have thought, like, at the very least, I never would have thought people would reward the work with dollars. After it started coming in, I got to ask for them. But I've never expected people to truly get after it. Phil, I'll share the story a little bit, and I'll share the background when I get to it. So let's go through the 53-man roster, and we'll get after it piece by piece. And sorry, my phone, I got 2 phones, guys. They're all blown up. Everybody's probably calling me back being, okay, see, we stop messing around. 2 phones. I had them working today, guys. And the best part is I was doing it with my best friend. I was like, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. I'm trying to get as much information as possible. He's like, my God, can you just enjoy the coffee? I'm like, no, I want to piss off Jason Bowers. That's my goal. Hey, Jason, if you don't like it, hop off, man. It's all good, man. It's all good. I've decided that a little bit of talking about me is all good. But I'll get you to the steak, Jason. Don't worry. It's important. It's important because actually, like I said, there was inaccurate reporting going on. And in my position, I feel like the consumer needs to be encouraged to get the facts in a factual world. So I'll share it. But if you don't like it, like I said, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. But so far, so good, man. Got my first super chat of the day. More. Jump to the front of the line. Say anything you want within reason and be respectful. All right. And the reason why I talk through it is, man, this share button on this platform's got to be easier. I keep going through it, and then I get distracted. But here it is. All right. This is the Detroit Lions on SI website. Oh, yeah. When you care about something, Jason, and you do something, respect is important to a lot of people, especially to Middle Eastern people. I could talk about it for 3 hours. Because again, and I think hopefully you put yourself in my position. I'm a psychologist, so your brain just goes to why. Why would that happen? Is it because I'm also curious? Do other editors say don't talk to him? Has it been exposed? Like don't feed this guy's ego? Your mind gets to racing, and you wonder how could 9 different people that you talk to every day completely ignore you? They know who I am. It's weird. So we'll talk about it because one of you guys supported me. It's cool. All right, here we go. Football talk. 2 quarterbacks, as expected, Jared Goff, Kyle Allen. Down with the cause. Unfortunately, we all know the Hendon Hooker situation. We can't belabor the point. Let's go. What do you guys think about 2 quarterbacks? Is there anybody now that you've seen released that we should talk about the Lions getting? What do you guys think of Tommy DeVito and his agent? A lot of people liking Tommy DeVito. Now, guys, also caveat. I've been so locked into the Detroit Lions. I got some of the general news. If a player that I talk about has been signed, please forgive me. I've been locked into the Lions. So if I say, hey, this guy, and I'm wrong, please forgive me. I spent time with my best friend and was dialing up a million people. But Tommy DeVito, he's the guy that first came up. Anybody else? Also, too, I saw another reporter share that Haener was released. I think they were acknowledging that he was the quarterback picked maybe right after Hendon Hooker. Do you like him? I liked him. Jake H. What do you think? Is there a quarterback that has been cut that the Lions should get? Gotta get after it here with Phil. Phil, $4.99 super chat. Your poor wife has to listen to you when you're not talking to us. Buy her a drink with this $4.99. I will do that, Phil. Yeah, no, she's ultimately supportive. Man, you can't do this if you don't have the support of a great lady. And it's getting tougher, with how much I'm putting into it and maybe starting a new YouTube show. It's difficult. So the $4.99 is appreciated. Thank you. No, she's a saint. She's a true saint, Phil. Appreciate you. Great guitar. Get after it. Is there a quarterback that you guys think should be on this roster that has been cut so far? Those are the 2 names. Desmond Ridder. CTS Squid gets in and understands. Desmond Ridder waived. Is he somebody? Do you want Hendon Hooker back on the practice squad? Let's discuss. 4 running backs we all know. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, Sione Vaki. If you don't know, great colleague, somebody I respect that does acknowledge us when he pays attention, Dave Burkett. Humble man and one of the best. He had the most contacts. He reported the most. Credit to him. He does the job to perfection. He's a role model for the ages. Dave Burkett, Detroit Free Press. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Craig Reynolds, Sione Vaki, 4 running backs cut, Sailors and Deion Jackson. Sione Vaki was not expected to get on any injury list, but he could miss the Packers game, according to Dave Burkett. Man, I don't like that, but I get it. You only need 3. Really, you only need 2 for the most part. Craig Reynolds can get in to give the other 2 a spell. 4 running backs, 2 cut. Makes sense. Doc, have you spoken to Za'Darius today? Now, Attila the Hun, in speaking to everybody on the phone that was humanly possible, I tried to reach out. That one was respectfully ignored. I feel like they probably have muted me at this point because I think we're going on 7 unreturned messages. I tried, but I don't think that the Lions on SI reporter has the first inroads to Za'Darius Smith's agent. And sometimes when they don't reply, they're also, like I said, I'm 99% certain I'm texting the right person, but there are times I could be texting the wrong person. I have not had any contact with the reps in this case. Tried though. Do you like Reynolds and Vaki? I think it's going to be fine. I'm just a little concerned about Vaki. I'm just a little bit concerned with this hamstring and what he's been dealing with so far. All right. 6 wide receivers ends up. Very fair. Credit to Christian. He got it right. He nailed it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Tim Patrick, Khalif Raymond, Isaac Tesla, Dominic Lovett. And let's just talk about this for a couple minutes. Dominic Lovett, I know people were definitely wild with the size and the strength of Jackson Meeks. The feeling is that he would provide an inroad to get Za'Darius Smith. Now, where we stand, players can start taking phone calls to end up on other teams' practice squads. Agents are blown up, talking to other teams, highlighting their players, and discussions can be had. Starting at 12 tomorrow, teams can lock up a player to a practice squad. So stay tuned tomorrow at noon. I will be online, and we will discuss the practice squad. So what that means is players that are subject to waivers have to go through the process. So where do the Lions sit in that process? It's not good. They are, and you can fact check me as you guys are on the computer, 28th in the waiver order. That's not good. So what that means is if they want somebody and one of 27 other teams go first on that same player, they get them, and Lions don't. 28th in the waiver wire. So players got to clear waivers, and players like Jackson Meeks, Hendon Hooker, Broderick Martin, all could be picked up by somebody else. Now, the crazy part is that I love Dan Campbell, and he's like, Brad has been basically 100% that if he feels a player is coming back to the Lions or doesn't clear, Brad knows what other teams need, and he's been pretty spot on with knowing if a player is going to come back or not. So what do you guys think? Meeks. Because sometimes us as fans and people overvalue the players and needs. Jackson Meeks might also say, I already know a system. There's also a value in you go through a team's camp, you know the playbook. There's a comfortability. So teams bank on that so that if you go somewhere else, you might not end up being productive and the team's not going to like you right away. So for Meeks, staying in Detroit is literally, you know the offense, you're going to grow and develop. The team may end up using you. If, unfortunately, something happens to Raymond or Lovett, Jackson Meeks is the first guy up. So I think that the Lions are banking on Meeks coming back here. I have a good feeling Meeks will be here. The issue is if you get claimed, you're on the team for at least a month. So you get 4 game checks automatically. So that's the challenge. But I think the long-term future for Jackson should be in Detroit. We shall see. And to your point, we're going to get to it. I saw this here. We're going to get to it. For the hits, Habibi, can you please set me straight on what the hell Detroit is doing? You're talking about Ahmed being waived? I'm going to get to every position and discuss it. In what depth areas are you concerned? The 50 men on the roster, the 3 open spots, the lack of depth in certain spots? Be specific and I'll get after it. Max Splicer. Whoa, just tuned in, but they waived Ahmed. Wow. Yeah, they did. We'll talk all about it. I got you the info. I got info. So you'll have the up-to-date info from the doc pretty soon. We'll get to it. From my understanding of how this thing gets after it. Are you okay? I don't want to get off this too fast. Okay, with Dominic Lovett, the reason is special teams, guys. Guys, I know it's not sexy. Special teams is not something that is too appealing to a lot of wide-ranging people. Hell, I even tell you guys during the special teams period, I sometimes zone out and regroup from the heat, from all the stuff going on. But for Dominic Lovett, why did he make the roster over Jackson Meeks? It's clear. His impact right away will be on special teams more than Meeks. Bees, trust the process. Love it or leave it. LOL. So that's how we look at it. Special teams. And I felt like Dominic Lovett in practices had a little bit of an edge with Kyle Allen, and he stepped it up a little bit more than Meeks. Now, Meeks was very productive in the games. It was neck and neck, 1A, 1B. It was right there. But guys, tie or not a drastic difference with the special teams value. I told Jeff Risdon in the Lions press box, tie goes to the draft pick. And I wasn't brave enough to cut Meeks. I wanted Darius Smith. Christian was. He got it right. He got it right. Are you guys okay now that you've seen it that Lovett made the roster? The tight ends, you know, straightforward. 3 tight ends, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra. Cut, Horton, Oaks, Stylianos. Injured reserve, Kenny Yeboah. And I think I liked my way of doing it this year, where I underlined those that have been cut or injured reserve and kept those in the process highlighted. Nothing to complain about. You got 3 good tight ends. Now, you guys that paid attention to me knew early that Mason Miller was an early release. He was waived. There's a chance he could come back on the practice squad. But the others did not acknowledge that. I don't know why. It's fun. We'll talk about it at the end to joke around a little bit. A lighthearted moment on X. But Mason Miller, if you followed me, you knew of his release early in the process. Dan Skipper was the biggest question mark. And guys, from what I'm hearing, they feel like Jamarco Jones outplayed him. Here are the 9. This one's going to be requiring your guys to share. Penei Sewell, Decker, Mahogany, Ratledge, Glasgow, Manu, Awosika, Kingsley, and Jamarco. Do you like this offensive line? Do you like the depth? Jamarco is replacing Skipper. Skipper could come back to the practice squad, but Skipper is older. And look, let's be realistic, and Dan Skipper would be straight to the point too. Getting abused by Aiden Hutchinson to that degree is not a good sign. And here's why. When you face good competition, let's say that Dan Skipper is in a reserve role. Is it okay to get beat to that level by your opponent? Aiden Hutchinson, technically in the realm of practice, is an opponent. And Dan Skipper is still expected to compete at a high level. Now, it's not a surprise that many people are going to struggle, but he didn't have enough good reps against Aiden and others to justify keeping Jamarco Jones off. He was the better player. And that's what Dan Campbell would tell Dan Skipper. Sorry, we have to go in a different direction. That's just the way it is. Step slower, ends up maybe costing you your job. It's just the nature of the business. Jamarco Jones had a good camp. He was on the second team. Quite a bit. I documented his number, 72, I believe. Quite a bit. I know it ain't 74 because that's Awosika. 72, 74. Guys, make sure you hit the like button. Thank you, Phil. The more likes, the more we can spread this and the more information can get to the people factually and have some entertainment and have some laughs. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. That means a lot to me. Let's try to get to at least 100 likes in the next hour. And yeah, no, silent. You're right. Silent service. There's 50. It's 50. There's 50 players on the roster right now out of 53. It's not final. Of course not. There could be signings as we talk. What do you guys think? What grade would you give the offensive line? I give it a B. The starters are great. A little bit concerning with Egwakun's up and down camp and Manu. Man. Pat, any idea when the practice squad will be released? It can start at 12. And so tomorrow, I will present you a way to follow so you'll know. Pat, visit Lions on SI as often as you want. And here's the simple rule. Now, the 700 people, if we do a tracker and I post on X, hey, update it, you have to hit that refresh button. There's the button in the corner of your browser. It's refresh. You have to hit it, and then the information updates. It's constantly being changed, modified. You can't just click on it, and then the information pops up. You got to refresh the feed. It doesn't give me an extra click or more money. The first time you click, that's all you need. And then when you refresh it, it doesn't give me more clicks. Just refresh it so you get more information. Bookmark and refresh. There's the button right above on Chrome. There's the little half circle, 3/4 circle. It says reload this page. Refresh. But if you just click on it from X, it'll just be the last time you were there. So I got not a lot. Most people got it. And there were a lot of people on that tracker. A couple of people were like, it's not updating. You have to refresh it. It'll pop up for you. It might take a couple minutes too, because there's a lot of people crashing that tracker. And luckily, no crashes, which is great. What do you guys think of the offensive line? Good, bad, indifferent, depth-wise? Need to go outside the organization? I saw some people clamoring for some linemen. I give it a B. What do you guys think? I'm willing to listen to your guys' thoughts about it. Injured reserve, Sorsdahl, and Justin Herron. Edge rushers, just 3. Guys, clearly Pascal's going to be on the team. He's going to come back. Maybe there's room for one more. Brad, if you're listening, we've had a good month at Lions on SI and the Lone Wolves podcast. We've covered the team pretty thoroughly. But if you feel the need to sign Za'Darius Smith at 7:15 or 7:30 would be perfect. It goes right into the evening readership, the West Coast, overseas. It would be amazing. If you drop Za'Darius Smith, please today. That way, maybe tomorrow a little bit, I can take a little time off before I do the podcast. We can roll into tomorrow and not have to do as much. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. Today. Why not now? We're ready for it. We know all the ins and outs. Make it happen. 3 edge defenders. The one that shocked me when I first saw it was Ahmed Hassani. All right. And we're going to talk about him in a minute. 1 backup defensive end is crazy. But there's going to be more. Because guess what? Guys, I told you this in podcasts. I'm going to tell you why. You have linebackers, and some of those linebackers are Sam linebackers that are going to be pressuring. I told you this on Crunch Time. I promise you I said it. They're going to use pressure from a variety of ways. And one of them is going to be Derek Barnes on the edge. And remember, you also have defensive tackles that are hybrid. Okay? So those are the pure edge rushers. That's fine. And we're going to talk about Ahmed specifically. 6 defensive tackles. Guys, Chris Smith, Mekhi Wingo, Reeder, Tyleik Williams, Pat O'Connor. Chris Smith earned the job. Credit to him and his work that he did to earn a roster spot. Those are great stories. players that grind and work and be up and down on the roster. For Chris Smith, give him credit. He earned his spot. Well earned from a player. And his representatives are great. Him and his representatives are great. And you were made aware from Lions on SI about Chris Smith's situation. As of 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, when I met my friend for coffee, he was not told he was on the roster or off the roster. He was in the dark. Could you imagine you're Chris Smith, you're waiting? He was literally in the dark. Man, those must have been some long hours for him. He was literally in the dark. He did not know if he was on the team or off the team when I reported it. Could you imagine? I'd be having a heart attack. I'd be like, Brad, just tell me, bro. Just tell me. Just tell me, Brad. I can't wait. I can't just sit here and I might have to do a podcast. You might be working out. I wonder, a lot of players do a lot of different things to keep their mind off of it. But Chris Smith did not know his status, as I reported. Wingo is a player that, if he's healthy, can do a couple different things. Yep. All right. Reeder, Williams, O'Connor, Lopez, Chris Smith, Mekhi Wingo. Levi, unfortunately, not a player that's going to be contributing. Ali McNeil, we all know on the PUP list. And those who got cut, Miles Adam, Keith Cooper Jr., and Broderick Martin. Cooper didn't make it, but guys, Cooper has a chance to come back on the practice squad. Those who made it, Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, Grant Stewart, Nowaski, and Cunningham. Man, Christian out. I have to give him credit. I'll do it with the whole screen. Christian outdid me. But you guys know I was hopeful. I could have put the list that Christian had. We had it pretty close. And Christian might have hit 98%. Terry Arnold, DJ Reed, Amik Robertson, Branch, Joseph, Yasin, Avante Maddox, Khalil Dorsey. Oh. Lauren Strickland didn't do enough to make it. That's the first I'm hitting that. We were wrong on that. Everybody was wrong on that. They picked Kennelly or Strickland. They went lighter on depth there. That's the first I'm cognitively seeing that. Do you guys like that? Man, that has to be. I need one more. I need one more defensive back. And the 3 specialists. All right. That's the roster. Now, let me credit Christian. His 53-man was amazing. His was almost within 98% effective and accurate. I went a little off. I did hit Maurice Norris not making the team. Nate Lynn. I wanted Za'Darius on the roster. Now, of course, when you put that, there's a little bit of hopefulness with your accuracy, but that's fine because that's why we have 2. And Christian, I made sure was definitely the more professional one, whereas I was more hopeful, and I'm a dreamer. It's fine. 50 players, 3. I think you go offensive line, DB, edge, clearly. What do you guys think? 3 positions. Where do you address them? I think maybe one's for Pascal. If maybe they got good news. And again, thank you guys. As we record, some of the people that I messaged today are now replying back. Thank you. I give congratulations to the players that made the team. And I thank them for the conversations that we had. And listen, I think part of the reason why we have almost 800 people is you guys can throw some jabs at me. It's good. Solomon. And I take it humbly. Good Lord, right? I can't believe none of you guys said, hey, can you tone down the shine on that forehead? It's killing us. It's killing me. Good Lord. You know why? Because I get smarter every single day. Every single day, I get a little smarter doing this job. Work a little harder, work a little smarter, deflect when I need to, answer the questions when I need to. And I'll share something, too, that I shared with Hefe and Booner. Doc, was your hair on the cut list, too? Just teasing, man. Yeah, man. And 23 years old. Could you imagine someone married me when I was 29? I had this hairline. Good Lord. Is it time, Solomon? Are you on the team cut it off doc train? It might happen. I just don't think that players would want to talk to a guy that looks like a serial killer. I'm holding on for dear life. Can you let me have my last 4 strains, please? I love you guys. Listen, you can jab me all you want. I don't take it personally. I got a brother-in-law and a nephew and a best friend who have told me things that are unmentionable. So getting talked to in any kind of way from an athlete or a media member or anything has no problems. I've heard it all. I went to high school. I got ribbed. I was 5'3" in high school, but I was tough. I was gritty. Not going to hurt my feelings. Exactly. Phil, friends talk smack to each other. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole purpose of doing a podcast, to have fun, to talk smack, and to get after it. Buzz cut. Tony G's voting. No. The clean head look is definitely the way to go. What 3 positions, guys, should the Lions fill? Listen, I'm not cutting it off. I'm going to hold on to the last strain possible, people. Look at this. Forehead's not proportionate. Are you guys serious? I mean, don't you guys understand forehead proportionality? If I went bald, it would be way forehead. It would not look good on the screen. It doesn't even look good without me in a hat right now. Good Lord. Look at this. Good Lord. You could write the Lions defense on this forehead. That's right. Austin, the doc's brain got bigger and outgrew his hair because he's so smart. That's right. What do you guys think of the roster overall? I'm going to give you my thoughts. Now I got to talk about Ahmed Hassani. Put a tattoo right here. It's unfortunate, man. It was shocking. It was the first thing I saw right when I did. And I'm going to give you guys a secret. So you can be smarter next year. The Lions release it on their website. That's where I went first. That's where the other reporters went. They go to their website or their X and they'll release it. And they've done it the same way for 5 years. It's a pattern. They give you a little taste, half the cuts or so. Let all the reporters do their tracking. Except this year, all the reporters were inaccurate. All of them inaccurate. They missed one player that was reported by me. Weird, but that's what happened. They were inaccurate. And some of you noticed. All right, let me see if this button helps. One extra comment. See? It does. It turned down more natural lighting. There you go. I do have light. I want to be professional. There's a light behind this computer. It's a ring light. The Lions were a team that made some of their decisions. I think they knew their decisions, but they let certain players know early. And by today, the roster now has been set to 50 players. And so if you go to their website, they tell you the whole list and they give us information. So that's why it wasn't like I wrote it in 5 minutes from the time I had it. We had it pretty much ready to go for you guys to get it as much as possible. So the first thing I see is, boom, Ahmed Hassani waved with the settlement. I tweeted that. Everyone's like, what? Let me see the reaction, because then I went back to writing to get the list together for the story. And I was like, what? And then the same reaction you guys gave me. I was like, what? Yeah, I was like, oh, but then I immediately understood the reasoning. So, yeah, right away, you guys' reaction was shocked. Biggins gets in right away. You have to laugh how the media artificially propped him up as more than a 6th-round pick because he was an immigrant during a crisis. That guy's been messaging me for 10 years, and it's always that kind of stuff. But we propped him up because he had talent. Then he got hurt. And he fits the mold of a Dan Campbell player, gritty, and he still could be with the Lions. Now, here's the facts as we know it. There is a chance he could return, but it's not guaranteed, guys. It's discussed. Now, he has to wait until the settlement period is over. That stinks. It stinks. So, listen, no team is going to claim him. He is officially waived like a player that would be cut. He's officially waived. He's in that category. But knowing everybody knows that he's hurt, it's going to be tough for him to get claimed. It's doubtful that somebody would do that because if you claim Ahmed right now, you have to put him on your active 53-man roster. And if he's going to miss 3-4 weeks, a month, 5-6 weeks, that's what it is. So, and here's the tough part, is it's going to take a chunk of his rookie season if he comes back. It's not the preferred strategy that teams use. It is a puzzling move. They have done this in the past with different players, but let's say now, for example, it's something that's on the table. Let's say, for example, the injury is going to take 7 weeks. Just throwing it out there. He has to wait those 7 weeks plus 3 weeks to come back. That's why if they wanted him, they would have maybe put him on IR. That's why it's not a guaranteed lock that he comes back. So he's in a different process. That injury happened at the worst possible time for a young player. And guys, I don't want to be crude, but he had a chance clearly to make the team if he was healthy. And it starts in this manner, okay? That's why he was so dogged in his preparation. He worked hard to prepare, avoided the distractions, avoided me. I'm proud of him. What's he really going to benefit from talking on a podcast? I'm proud of him. He laser focused. I mean, he should have did the podcast as downtime. Listen, Doc, I'm busy. Downtime, give you half an hour just to relax. But the man worked hard to try and catch up to speed. He worked his tail off. Because remember, he's raw. But I want you guys to realize that beyond the 5th round, everything after that 5th round is a crapshoot. It's very tough as a player. The team is always looking elsewhere. They're looking for upgrades. They're always looking around. 6th and 7th rounders have to fight. And Ahmed fought. He got hurt at the worst possible time. So he accepted an agreement. They made him an offer and he agreed to it. An injury settlement. So I don't think another team is going to come after him right now with his injury situation. So he's got to wait 3 weeks beyond the expected time he's hurt. Hopefully it's just a month. So then he can come back in 7 weeks, maybe half the year. They didn't use one of their 2 IR to return spots on him. They didn't do it. What do you think? Are you shocked? Are you disappointed? And trust me, Ahmed is going to be successful if he's in Detroit or anywhere else. His story lends to a player that will fight hard no matter what. Does it the right way. Good family, good supportive family, humble boy, humble man, and his story is told. But now, on the personal side, now that you're free, return your boy's text. I tried, but he was professional, man. He was professional. I would have loved to. I would have loved to chopped it up with him, but man, he was pulled in 50 directions. You couldn't talk to him. He was that popular. He's engaging. Like you want to talk to him. So I would have liked on that one for him to be like, "All right, that's the Lebanese guy. Let me go talk to him." I had to do all the work, and I'm shy. I'm a Pisces. I'm shy, but I messaged him a couple times. I'll share with you. I messaged him. Hey, how you doing? You okay? I messaged the man. But he's locked in, laser focused. I hope he's okay, truly. Him and his family, his dad's great. His whole family's cool. It stinks, man. It stinks that he got hurt and went down like that. I was shocked personally, but I understand it. Chris, shout out to you, man. Chris, Doc, you are a good man. I appreciate what you do on here. That's all I could ask for. I think the more and more I do this, the more and more I reveal what kind of person I am to you guys, the loyal audience. 900 people on a Tuesday with the nice weather. Thank you. Smash the like button, Chris. Man, no, Chris, you're a good follower. You're a good member of the community. You understand. Doc's just a regular guy talking into a microphone because he loves it. Just a regular, humble guy, truly. But also wants a little respect. Just a little tiny bit. Just a little. That's all. Normal guy. I am shocked the Lions cut all the young edge guys. Don't be. There's only one, I think that's a surprise. Not good enough. Guys, Dan Campbell's open. And also, too, I don't know where you're getting your information from. Yeah, there's a little bit of a homerish nature of some of the reporters. Eyes with the happy rose-colored glasses. The defensive line, Emmett. I butchered my man's name. I've known this kid. He's a hard worker. I plucked him out of Michigan State and said, hey, come right for us. Matasavsky. Messed that up. He's a good kid. He would talk to me at Michigan State. Saw him grinding, working. I was like, my God, this guy talks more than me. He wrote Dud's defensive line. The defensive line was horrible against the Texans. Dan Campbell noticed that. It was terrible. Not good enough. Keith Cooper fell off a little bit. Started the camp well. Good camp, practice squad quality. That's a good start for UDFA. Guys, remember, UDFA is the toughest road to make a team. It's the toughest road to make a team. Let me look here again. I think they might have snapped their record. Well, let's see. I can tell you right away. Browsing here, the quarterbacks, no UDFAs. They've had one every single year, maybe except this year. And I think they told us that was the case. Gibbs, Montgomery, Reynolds, Vaki. Yep. Patrick, love it. Draft pick. Yep. Sewell, Iwasika, Jones. Yeah, no, none there. Edge, Elquidine. Chris Smith, Makai Wingo. 6. Yeah, veterans. Yeah. No UDFAs made it. And the Lions told you. The Lions are honest. They told Brad Holmes said it's harder and harder to make the team. Brad Holmes don't lie. And where they tell you the truth most is on the ticket. It's because that's where their family is. They're partners with the ticket. So Brad Holmes said it multiple times. It's hard to make this team. What are you shocked for? Wasn't good enough. It's hard to make this team because the talent level is good. You got to step it up. You don't just get a spot because you're a defensive end. You got to produce. And those guys that played had the chance against the Texans, and it wasn't that good. Let me check all the deets on that specifically. No, he has to clear waivers still, Tony. He has to clear waivers. He is not, as we speak, a free agent. He's got to clear till noon tomorrow. He's not. So that's a little inaccurate. Close, but not accurate. He is subject to waivers, but nobody's going to know. He will be a free agent. Nobody, I believe, with that situation, knowing he's going to be out for a certain amount of time, is going to put him on the roster to miss the first month. It is 3 weeks after the expected amount of time. That's the one thing we don't know. It could be 6 weeks plus 3. It's basically the injury settlement is for the time that it's expected that he's injured. If he comes back, plus 3 weeks. That's the agreement. Right. And Tony knows he has to clear waivers, but no one's going to claim him. So what's your reaction to that? Is it disappointing? What was your initial gut reaction? Were you shocked? What was the first word you thought when you saw Doc's tweet at Detroit Podcast, or you read it somewhere else? I was disappointed. I wanted to see his story. I wanted to develop the relationship with the man. I thought he was going to grow into, at least early on, I thought he was going to grow into a nice role. That injury, man, it's all part of God's plan, they say. And that's how he's looking at it, and he's getting after it. Nick P., I thought Clowney or Z coming to Detroit, Doc. Still holding out hope for Za'Darius. If you checked out Lions on SI, I updated what's the current standing. He's in the mix. But guess what? The Lions aren't the only suitor for Mr. Za'Darius. You see him, he's fly. He's appealing to every NFL team. Looks like he's more than appealing to Cash Doll. He's appealing to the Bills, the Packers, the Ravens, the Bengals. Z's got his pick of the litter. He's the fly defensive end that has his choice. So the factors are potentially available. The door's open. So Brad, Mr. Brad Holmes, if you're watching, please at 7:30, I can enjoy my time with the podcast friends. I can collect more super chats, more likes, more subscriptions, more trolling comments. And then 7:30, I can write and prepare the Za'Darius Smith signing story. That would cap off a beautiful training camp for me, top to bottom. Za'Darius Smith is in the mix. Multiple teams are calling him. Why are they calling him? Because he's talented. He's a veteran. He had 9 sacks last year. But unfortunately, he wants those dollars. He ain't cheap. You're not going to take him to McDonald's or to the local Coney Island. He ain't going to Lafayette, guys. He's going to Eddie V's. He's going to Ocean Prime. He's hitting Troy. You ain't going to take him to Hamtramck. You guys want to try to take him to what do you want to wow him with Hamtramck? And I say that for my wife and my cousin Adam as a joke. Don't attack me, wife. I'm sorry. You ain't taking him to Hamtramck. You got to take him to Troy, Birmingham. If you want to make Doc uncomfortable, take me to Birmingham and plot me there with all those type of people. I'm so uncomfortable because I'm loud and I'm talking about stuff that you shouldn't be talking about. You see all those green dildos that are being on, like, Doc, you're in Birmingham. This is not green dildo talk time. Sorry, wife, sorry, but they're throwing green dildos at the PGA Tour. You know I cover the PGA Tour. Why are they throwing all these green dildos? If I threw one, you think it would be okay? They're green dildos. Doc, that is not Birmingham talk. Sorry. I'd like an espresso martini, please. Can you make it taste delicious, please? And hurry it up. You got to bring Za'Darius to Troy and Birmingham and not Royal Oak. Royal Oak is good, but that's not his standard. You got to take him to Troy and Birmingham and the West Bloomfields of the world. Are you insinuating, Nick, that I have inaccurately led you astray? A lot of people suggested Clowney and Za'Darius to Detroit, and myself included. We're trying to get the team better. He would make the team. He would make the football team better, Nick. That's my mission. Period. I ain't happy. You shouldn't be happy. You got no rings. I'm not happy until there's a ring. I will become the rosy colored glasses guy when they get a ring. Oh, everything's great. Hendon's great. He's having a great camp. You should ask those people, why'd you sell the people that nonsense? He was not having a great camp. You guys tell me. Berkeley, I feel like gets you in the door. He might stay 10 minutes and then be like, I want to go to Troy. Troy, baby. Eddie V's. Berkeley, 10, 15 minutes, I think. The Dern. What's up, Doc? It's all good, man. Just talking 53-man roster, telling some jokes. 1,000 people in here across 2 platforms. This is amazing. Hit that like button, retweet, drop a comment on X, on YouTube. Right? I mean, who thinks of this stuff? Me? Freaking Clay Travis. Good man. Always room for that kind of discussion. John, this is not the time or the place. We are sitting outside in a nice area. Where are they getting? Like, should we buy stock in this Green Dildo company? John, stop. Bless my wife's heart. She's got to deal with this. Ann Arbor, I think Ann Arbor, certain parts, outside of the main campus area, probably. Went off the rails for a second, Brent. You got to go off the rails a little bit. It's been an hour. Let's see. Probably got another hour in me, another half hour. We'll see. Listen, I'm going to ask. It's a simple yes or no. We get one professional comment here, and then we're going to go off the rails a little bit. I think we need an offensive tackle that is better than Manu. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. The views expressed by Mr. Macaroon during this segment do not necessarily reflect those of ANA SI, their subsidiaries, or their partners. We do not recommend that you try any of these suggestions. He's just having an entertaining thought in his mind. Thank you. Do you think, yes or no? We are not suggesting. We are not encouraging. In fact, I would tell you not to ever think about it. Will a green situation land at Ford Field? You guys, you guys are not crazy enough to try that. It's inappropriate. Why are you guys doing it too? Let the ladies play basketball appropriately. PGA Tour guys, you got to do it appropriately. Appropriately. Not at the PGA Tour. Maybe when the Dodgers come to town for the first game of the World Series. Welcome to Detroit, where the players play. Let them fly. At Comerica, like 13 of them all at once. Remember, the views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the partners, the sponsors, the advertisers. These are just a general discussion. Do not try this anywhere reasonably. You'll be looked at weird, and you could be escorted out of the arenas. Just a thought. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. All right. Yeah, right? Better than the Eagles fans throwing beer at people. Right. Snowballs. Yeah, Pascal's coming back too. But it's unfortunately you just can't rely upon him to be there for the whole season. You just gotta wait and see, game by game, situation by situation, until he shows it. So again, Hassani, what's your reaction to it? And do you think he ends up back with the Lions? Should he explore other opportunities? I think there's room for him, but it's going to be a long-term situation. It's going to be until after the bye week, minimum. Oh, I saw one. One of you guys last year, Tony, had me and Adam crying on X. One of you guys tried to sneak one in, tried to sneak an inappropriate doll into Ford Field. It's out there on X. It's a guy, I remember he's holding it up and it's inappropriate. And he looked all sheepish when security opened the bag and there's a male parts figure. He walked in highly intoxicated. So be safe out there. No antics. Americans get into some weird stuff. But it's funny as heck when you see it. Very weird. What do you guys make of the edge depth now with the three guys that you got? I mean, it's a little challenging. It is a little bit concerning. Let's talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this roster. All right. We'll go in that direction. The edge situation is good at the moment, but needs work. You don't have depth, clearly. Hutchinson, Davenport, Al-Quadin, Muhammad. I feel like depth's coming. Pascal, and you have the linebackers. It feels like there's a move, maybe a Zadarius move. It feels like something's coming. You look at it and you say, all right, this is a defensive line room that needs to get after it and get to where it needs to go. Overall, looking at the roster, what is your area where you're set? Wide receiver, you're good. Offensive line depth, you have concerns. Quarterback, maybe depth. You know, do you trust Kyle Allen? It's a very unique roster, guys. Let's start with the defense. Or you tell me, where do you want to pick apart more intricately? The offense or the defense? And we'll start asking questions and get after it. Fire away questions, guys. The more questions we have, the more discussions get spurned. Yeah, probably the first fair question to ask is, of the players cut and waived, if they don't get picked up by somebody else, who do you want on the practice squad? Who of the 16 players deserves to get in there? I think Keith Cooper, Jackson Meeks, no doubt about it. Those guys, I think Mason Miller deserves a spot. He's a versatile offensive lineman, but needs seasoning. I hope he returns. I thought at guard he serviced himself a lot better than he did at tackle, but he can move around. He can do different things. I thought that he ended up graded pretty high against a preseason opponent, one of the highest ranked offensive players in one of the games. Kennelly, Strickland, you want them developing. Maurice Norris. You guys said it right here. DLFPIG. Meeks, Lynn, Moody, Cooper, Kennelly, all candidates you want. Yeah, Robbie, you know what's up. Robbie H gets in. We can't start the season with 3 defensive ends. And I don't think you will. You got 10 days. Oh, who might steal Hassanin? Edith says Glenn. I don't think he gets claimed because of that injury situation. I think that you would be storing away somebody. That's a long-term investment. Some teams might do it. You never know. Let's start with what concerns you. And I think DLFP, you're a podcast OG. Appreciate you. Depth at offensive tackle, center, safety, defensive end. All right. Yeah, going down the road of panic, I know it's easy for me, but you're absolutely right. Those are positions you got to shore up. And if you ask me, Dan Campbell was humble and honest. He said, we got holes. Those are your holes. That's where Dan understood and declared publicly, we got holes. He loves the high-end confidence of the starters, but depth is a question for every team. Manu, as a commenter said earlier, is a player that I don't think I want to see just yet out there consistently. I don't want to see that. I think that would be, high risk, high reward, meaning I think he would go out there, have good reps, but could he put together good games? You make one mistake, Jared Goff's on the ground. It's turnover. This is a football team battling turnovers and getting after it. Manu, not ready yet. Still cooking. But he's going to develop this year. He's going to get after it against the likes of Hutchinson and Mitchell, Al-Quadin Muhammad and Tyleik Williams and getting after it. And hopefully the linebackers that are stunting get after it. He's got to learn. Center. Yeah. Kingsley Eguakun. Listen, if you have an injury at center, I think probably you maneuver it differently. If you have an injury at center, you switch over Tate to center and you insert Kayode Awosika at guard. So don't be concerned so much about center. I'm here to cure your center depth issue. You go Tate and you let it roll. Yeah, there'll be some issues, but don't be concerned. Safety, listen, I think Avonte Maddox and Rock Ya-Sin will do enough to alleviate concerns about safety depth. Defensive end depth, you're absolutely right. You need an upgrade. You need more. But to start the year, you can manage because you're going to get pressure from a lot of defensive backs, from the linebackers. So let's get after it. What are you, DLFPIG? What are you confident in? Chat, what are you confident in? What makes you happy? Let's talk about that. And then we'll peek back into some more concerns. But those are the big ones. I mean, you nailed it. Those are the big concerns. Here are the strengths. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. You have a reliable, healthy quarterback that is durable. Jared Goff is going to have a good year. And I'm going to reset, of course, what Jason McIntyre said. You know I'm going to reset that. That was hilarious. He upset a lot of people. And yeah, you got to address it. Because he didn't even read the doc well enough to know that Tate Ratledge is not going to be the center. Tate Ratledge likely will be the center, is what Jason McIntyre said. He didn't even know his stuff on a national platform. Jason, no, Tate Ratledge is not going to be the center. He's going to be the right guard. But your points are understandable. It's very much a common thought. I'll address my thoughts on that later on. Also, too, got to show love to the Greenlight podcast. Dan Campbell was awesome on it. And he was getting after it. Where are the strengths? Wide receiver, clearly. TeSlaa has a chance to be impactful early. That's what you need to do. You need to allow TeSlaa to cook early and get after it. I like the wide receivers. I think they're going to compete and do a great job. Yeah, a lot of you have blown up the DMs about the Ahmed pick. Listen, it's impactful. It's a draft pick. Nobody wants that to happen, but he got hurt. So that takes away your depth. But again, guys, he was a 6th rounder. He was going to cook like James Houston later on in the year. I didn't see that. Who made a big deal about his t-shirt? I didn't see that. The worm. How happy did it make you guys to see TeSlaa do the worm? How early should he be involved in the game plan? Early. 4 wide receiver sets. Let's go. Goff, I think, is going to have a good year. TeSlaa wormed his way into the national spotlight that last game. Tony G. He sure did. Goff is Iron Man, hopefully. Yeah, he sure is. Protect him. That offensive line has to play well. I think they will. The LFP is happy with quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, the interior of the defensive line, and cornerback. Man, you hit it. You hit it perfectly. Can you put some sentences together? You got a nice setup? Heck, if you guys keep balling like this in the chat, I'll put you on the show. Fan segment. You definitely know what's up. I joke with Booner, but you might have to wear a collared shirt. Can't be showing up in, you can't show up in an environment that's unsuitable for the airways. We do have to keep it somewhat professional. The big bosses could be looking at any time. The people that want to work with me could be looking at any time. Oh man, you know what? That would be hilarious. Mr. Macaroon, we know you. We want to partner with you and do digital work together. But we saw this segment that you did on Tuesday at 6:04. Was there some green dildo discussion? Well, quite yes, there was. Is there an issue? Well, we feel like corporate sponsors might not. That's kind of rogue. Well, guess what? Then you don't get to work with me. Too bad, so sad. I own my own platform. I'm happy. I'm coming to join you as an asset to help you out. But Mr. Macaroon, did you feel the need to discuss questions with the audience about the green dildo situation? Yes, I did. I sure did. Why did you go down that road? Because I can. I am the owner of the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. We are very successful and very, very much well ran. Well, we don't know. Well, that's too bad. That's so sad. That's the blessing when you own your own thing. You can just pick and choose and say whatever the hell you want within reason. Mr. Macaroon, are you rogue? I am not rogue. I just veer off into faraway places sometimes. And now I'm willing to say it. Quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, interior defensive line, cornerback. Absolutely. And I do think some of you are laughing at this. Out of the 1,057 people, 200 of you got to be like, what is this idiot saying? My girl told where I'm at. She said, testing the green dildo. Testing the green dildo with Mr. Macaroon. I can't even say it. It's a podcast. Pull it together, Captain. All right, we'll pull it together. The exaggerations are funny. Oh, look at you guys want to say nice things to me. I'm 100% convinced Michigan State goes bowling this year. Let's go. I hope so. It's just a frolic. No detour. Doc, never distracted, just distracted a bit. Exactly. Keep it informative and entertaining. That's the mission. That's all I can ask. Just be myself. That's what it is. I can be myself freely. That's the blessing when you broadcast and you put in the work and you can enjoy your time. Why not enjoy it if you're going to be here for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day? I like exactly what the strengths are of the team. Wide receiver, get Tesla involved early. The offensive line has depth. In terms of the interior, I think that the starters are okay. You do have players, I think, that can fit in and slot in if needed, but I think there's upgrades. I like Awosika. I think he's professional. I think he did enough to kind of give Jamarco Jones. Now, you're not going to count on them for a playoff run, but if you need them for a game or two, I think it's okay. Do you think Dan Skipper calls it a career? Does he land somewhere else? My wife was even surprised. She's like, they cut Dan Skipper? They sure did. It's a cutthroat business. They sure did. They sure did. So, man, it's just, I look at the roster and 50 players. I would have hoped that they would have filled it out with at least a 53. We can look, but there's still more time to address everything. Oh, wow. That means, based on what Tony's saying, a lot of users are coming in from X. Nice. I see the total number. Get after it. Yeah, smash the like button. There's 1,000 of you in here between two platforms. So the 200 of you, smash that like button. And if you're watching on X, hop on over to YouTube real fast. That's cool. That's what I do. I like to air this on X as well for those that are casual that don't want to hop in. But if you're on X, feel free. Come over to the YouTube channel, Detroit Lions on SI. Come on over. Get into the chat. Have some conversations. Get your stuff over. I'll promote you. Yeah. And of course, Skip, had a camp where he was thrust in because of Taylor Decker, and he got after him. This is interesting. Someone said this. I was thinking about this literally the second. As we were talking, I was like, man, there's a lot of people that write those articles that explain everything all the time, year after year after year. I was going to ask, do you guys need all these explanations between waived and released and all that? And I don't want to go down that road too much, but I can explain the different designations. Let me see if I've written this or Christian on SI. Like I said, I don't want to feel like I want to, like, I get it. We're told, hey, you can help people, understand it better. Okay. There's multiple different designations. Physically unable to perform because of a football related injury. The difference is those players on PUP can participate in all team activities except practice. They can be activated at any point during camp once they are cleared. Players won't count against the active roster limit if they're placed on the PUP list at the start of the year. They just have to miss the first 4 games. That's what you saw with some of the players put on the list. NFI means non-football injury or illness. So if you have something happen outside of football, can be put on the NFI list. They also do not count on the 53-man list. Injury settlements are, like we said, a team can give a player a monetary amount of money, but there's consequences for that in terms of their return. IR means that there's a stint of time that you're going to miss. Now, they changed the rules where they allowed now 2 players to be put on IR that can come back during the season. So it's complicated, but in the end, the one thing you don't have to worry about is before, when people would hear the word IR, it meant forever. It doesn't have to be. Now, in every article that you read that has that, it'll describe it in most articles. It'll say this player can return potentially at this point in time. It's not long term. Some players are dealing with the long term stuff right now. Let me get the sheet here and kind of get after it. Right now, Malcolm Rodriguez, physically unable to perform. He will not play in September. Ezekiel Turner is a long-term injury. Ennis Rakestraw, Dan Jackson, those are long-term injuries. That stinks, Ezekiel Turner, PUP reserve, Levi, long-term injury. You probably won't see him this year at all. Dan Campbell specified, no Levi. Josh Pascal, NFI, he's going to miss some time. Injured reserve, Colby and Justin Heron, they're going to miss some time. Physically unable to perform, Miles Frazier, sooner expectation to perform, but he's not going to be there for the first month. That stinks. So, yeah. You got guys in the medium range that are going to come back, which are Alim McNeill, Malcolm Rodriguez, and Alim McNeill. They have a chance to return. Miles Frazier. Those are the 3. And anytime, hop in. You can message me at Detroit Podcast. Hop in a podcast and just ask. We don't know, Tony G. That's the problem. We hope it's not anything serious, but we don't know. Man, that's awesome. Motown Sports and Travel. Doc Macaroon, you inspired me to want more. That should be everything you guys want. More. Don't be satisfied. Just do more. Why do a podcast once a week? You do it every single day. 40 days in a row. Maybe I'll do 41 on Friday and just have it just a Q&A. Yeah, that's outside of the distractions and the stuff. If there's nothing else you took from the 40 days, always want more. Always strive, and don't let limitations. Don't let others that don't acknowledge you when you're right there in front of them. Don't let them bring you down. Use it as motivation, fuel, rocket fuel. There's 1,100 people in here across 2 platforms. Of the 200 people, Smash the like button. That's the free. That's the only thing I ask of you for free is smash the like button. Doc is the Barry Gordy of sports reporters. Okay, now you can have fun a little bit in the chat before we get to the next topic here, smashing some nasty narratives. Doc is the Barry Gordy of sports reporters. Forget Sydney Sweeney. What is the Doc of sports reporters? Am I a troll? Am I a whiny reporter? What am I of sports reporters? I feel like I just want to be known as a podcaster. That's it. You know, I just want to be known as a podcaster. That's it. Simple as that. Not a reporter, not a publisher, not a writer, just a podcaster. A guy that loves turning on the microphone, talking junk, laughing, and sharing thoughts with people. And trying to fight for a little bit of respect from you nasty reporters, you meanies. Problem is they see me every day too. Maybe all my side jokes have offended them. All the times I said, I don't like your guys' podcast. Maybe they took it the wrong way. Or probably one of those dumb questions I asked on X. They said, we have muted you, Mr. Macaroon. Like, hey, why didn't you acknowledge my Mason Miller report? Did you on your podcast discuss green dildos? Yeah. Was that wrong? Mr. Macaroon. There you go. Joe Mo Lion King, really smart psychology guy, that podcast. That adores Detroit sports, that lives for it. I know. We talk about him all the time. Danny Thomas was a Lebanese guy from Detroit. I'm a Lebanese guy from East Detroit. Really smart psychology guy, that podcast. Tony G, you're not a troll, that's for sure. Every time I watch a training camp video this year, there you were. Ball hawking the shots. Listen, Tony G, we want to be factual in the reporting of this. I was not intentionally trying to get on camera. I was trying to position myself. I'm a smaller reporter, and it just so happens that every time I positioned myself, the camera found me. This was not intentional. It just so happened that this year I'm a one single man reporter. When I asked the Alliance for two, they gave me one. They watched the podcast and said, we cannot have more of this kind of situation on the air. We cannot have this kind of situation beyond him. So I had to try to get all those interviews that you saw on the website by myself. And then they bring somebody to the podium and I'd have to position myself in those spots. That's all. It's purely accidental. Purely accidental that I was in a lot of those videos. Purely accidental. Lucas, my man. God bless. I hope everything's going great with you. We miss you, man. I miss those Wednesdays. The doc is grinding. Hopefully you're grinding too. Hopefully your football reports, when I see it on Wednesdays, will get after it. Give this guy a follow. Lucas Klotz. He's a ball knower. Flamethrower. Big deal in the Big T, Toledo. Get after it, man. Wishing you the best always. You know that. Yeah, I'm grinding. 38 days of broadcasting in a row. I'm definitely looking forward to Friday. Take a week off or so. Get after it on the preview for the Packers. Lucas is the ball knower. Make sure you support him and the crew at crunch time. You guys brought your jokes today. All right, let's dispel some of these crazy narratives. Now, you look at that roster, okay? First of all, there are a lot of non-ball knowing people, and they feel the need to just pick and choose the negative narratives. I get it that the easy narratives are out there, that the schedule is too tough, that the Lions are in transition with the offensive line and their coaching staff. But if you watch football, if you watch the Lions, they have learned how to win. They're a football team that's learned how to win over the years, and the Lions pick players that I believe are gritty and can battle and play these teams. And I feel like this football team in a situation in which they're going into a year with so much expectations, you don't think that they're heightened and aware that they got to play up to their competition? I don't know. I feel like, some narratives have popped up that are pretty lazy. I can't support it. You just can't support stuff that you see that's wild, like that you saw with Jason McIntyre. He says, on the replacing as a fill-in on the herd with Colin Cowherd yesterday, he says that he feels the Lions have peaked and they're in for a major regression.
Shout out Mark and Rex Ryan.
I was like, what? That makes no sense. The offense and defense, the starters are in a great spot.
Josh Allen.
Let's begin to hear what he said. You got to hear it. It's a couple minutes, but it makes no sense to have these thoughts that the Lions window is closed. Lucas gets in before we play the video. Doc, who looked better during camp as a whole between Amik and Reed? Man, it was close, but Amik is comfortable. I think they're both grinders, but DJ Reed was sticky and gets after. He's just a little bit better, more versatile, but Amik was all over it. He's ready. He's in a contract year. He's ready to get after it. It's a different situation, being that Amik's in the nickel a little bit more, but he's very versatile on the outside. But DJ Reed was, when he's locked in, he's after it. Now, he got tested a lot. Arnold definitely locked in. So I think with Arnold, the situation is going to be interesting. With Arnold probably taking away some of the field for some teams, Reed's going to get tested. And Jalen Waddle just is a matchup nightmare for a Reed. But not all matchups are going to be bad. So the good thing is you can mix Amik and Reed. But they were both neck and neck. They made each other better. Amazingly good players. And I think DJ Reed's going to be a nice number 2. You hope they stay healthy. Those three are pretty solid. Amik in the slot. Terry Arnold said he feels he's the best in the league. And he wants to prove he can do stuff on the outside. But I think DJ Reed, with his experience and what he's bringing to the table, just a little bit better player. But they looked great. They both look really, really good. Really good. Be confident. The defense as a whole gives you confidence. That's why I'm going to set the table, talk about what this Jason McIntyre said, and then kind of refute it a little bit. Because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does make sense, but it's just indicative of somebody not watching closely and just paying attention to the big narratives that people tell them. It's not accurate. I don't think the Lions have met their Super Bowl window. I don't think so at all. I think they got it this year, next year too. So I'll play some of it and we'll get after it. This is Jason McIntyre, Fox Sports Radio. He's talking about the Lions are in for major regression. Like, are you serious?
Okay. It is hard. And this Lions team is going to backslide. They ain't winning 15 games. I asked the staff to get the Lions schedule on the screen. Are you guys ready for this? The Detroit Lions have the toughest road schedule in the NFL. On the road, these are the quarterbacks they have to face this season. Jordan Love, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield. That's before Halloween. They got to go to Jalen Hurts. They got to go to Matt Stafford. Guys, that is absolutely brutal. And, oh, by the way, down 2 interior offensive linemen. One retired, and they let Zietler go. One of my boys who puts together a great NFL gambling write-up said those 2 offensive linemen that were lost over the last 3 seasons were top 5 at their position. So that's a huge step back. They're starting a 3rd-round rookie, likely, at center. And then obviously the position coaches are huge. Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn. Those are massive losses. So the new OC, okay, he has not been an offensive coordinator since 2017. He was an OC and then didn't go well. Hasn't been an OC again until this year. Okay, their new defensive coordinator was playing in the league in 2018. The highest he got as a coach before getting the defensive coordinator gig was a linebacker coach. Guys, this is going to be a big regression. Okay, they had 14 indoor games last year, down to 10. Now, I'm not saying the Lions totally crumble. There's not a ton of cold weather games, although they go to Chicago in the final week of the season. But they do have to go to Philly and Washington Could be cold weather games. We'll see. Likely October, November. I don't see it. A list of the quarterbacks they have to face must terrify you when you look at the defense. Guys, the depth chart for that defense is what's going on? You remember the movie Major League? Where they would be like, every season is like, who the bleep are these guys? Look at that Lions defense, and you're like, geez, we're cooked. We got to stop these quarterbacks with these guys. Listen, I have them missing the playoffs, and I think the Super Bowl window's closed.
He thinks their Super Bowl window is closed. That's ridiculous, right? What's the first thing you think of when you see this take? This is wild take, right? Big regression. Now, they're not winning 15 games, but they could win between 10 and 13. And here's why. The starters, if they stay healthy, you look at that offense, they're not taking into account the fact that J-Mo's going to get better. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take another step forward. He's expected to be in the Offensive Player of the Year category. They don't respect the fact that this is going to be a run-first offense that uses play action, and then they don't respect the fact that the defense is basically the same. The defense is basically the same, that has the coach that's been trained under the former defensive coordinator to get after. He's going to put his own spin on it. So Terrion Arnold's better. You have DJ Reed, who's arguably one of the top 10 defensive backs in the league. Amik Robertson on a contract year. You have linebackers that most people respect and believe are going to play at a high level. And you got two of the best safeties in the back end in the whole league. So, yeah, are they going to lose their fair share of maybe road games? But I feel like people's perspective of just look at the schedule. Yeah, the road games are tougher, but you don't have to win them all. Your home schedule presents an opportunity to win 7 of 8 games. I see one loss max at home. Bad game here or there. Easy. Your home portion is easier than your road. Let's say you go 6-2 and you just go 4-4 on the road. You know the math. I think they play more road games this year than home games. You only need to go 500 on the road. You're going to win a lot of games at home. That home schedule is easier. They're not going 14-3. Last year was a situation where you had an advantage and all the breaks went your way. There's football regression to the mean, guys. It's just some breaks are not going to go your way. There's going to be a bad call here or there. You're going to not get breaks in Cincy and Baltimore. Baltimore's a loss. So Jason McIntyre, I just think that falls into some of those people that look at all the negatives and then just exclude and don't weigh out the positives. Now, I will accept that the team is not Super Bowl caliber. They need work, but it's a 10-win team, in my opinion. Barring injury, that's a double-digit win team with great offensive potential and a defense I think will grow, in my humble opinion. Do I think they have a chance to win the Super Bowl? I think it's a long shot this year. You got to make moves. Brad has to be aggressive. But to say that their Super Bowl window's closed, dude, I think they got this year and next year to give it a shot, seriously. Maybe this year they get lucky and peak with all those tough games and get there. I'm always a little bit of a skeptic. I feel like the fan base is going to have to take a Super Bowl loss. It's just in the card. I mean, how do you not? What do you think of that take? I just think it's just you look at it and you disregard it. It's one thing where all his takes, all his points are valid, but you just disregard all the positivity of the team. It's like I'm going to tell the whole audience all the negatives and then just completely disregard all the things that are going to be great about the team. The team is going to score a lot of points. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be a star. They're going to be okay offensively. Your home schedule is easier. You have an MVP caliber quarterback in Jared Goff. Congrats, you talked to a gambling guy, and you didn't know that the center was going to be Graham Glasgow. That's why it's tough, because they spread their message on a big platform. It's close. He understood the concerns, but he didn't get to any of the stuff that would make the team have any chance. Their offense is going to be fine. Jameson Williams is going to be great. So I found that take to be crazy. And I was like, man, I get it. You're filling in. It's a take that I think they know that Detroit is going to latch on to that and talk about it. So I was like, man, we fell into the trap. I had to play it because a lot of people were talking about it and they were like, oh my God, this guy. And he does that a lot too. He does say things that catches people attention, but you got to kind of also be fair and balanced. Give the whole side, right? Be fair. The Lions have a lot of good strengths. And also, too, Dan Campbell is a
There are
great
three
head
categories.
coach.
The best category
Where
is
is the respect
you
level
can
for
win
a head
because of
coach
this
that
quarterback.
steadily
I
went
think Josh
uphill?
fits squarely in
Look
that,
at the
that
look. I
category.
mean,
Aaron Glenn, he's not a guy.
3 wins, then you went 8 and 9, and you won 12 games and got to the NFC Championship. Then you went 15. Give the guy some credit, some love. My goodness, that's a tough crowd if those are the expectations all the time.
What is one word that embodies Lions
It's
fans?
tough.
Resiliency, man.
Yeah.
The
But
J-Mo, you guys seem to have a special
I brought you guys down.
relationship.
him part of that
I'm going to bring
is
you back up.
for if we just ask one of them so much,
I
we
met
can do
this
a
person,
crane
Chris
bump.
Long,
DB. We'll have
and he's a cool dude.
relationship,
Um,
because of what he's been
does
through,
podcasts well,
and you've had his
and
back
he gets
at
after
every
it,
turn of
and
the
he
road.
takes podcasts to the next
I know
level.
there
He
were some
does a lot of
hiccups
good
in the
work.
beginning and injuries. It probably.
And
Where was the first time where you stood?
I would
Dan Campbell definitely praised Jameson Williams. This is courtesy of the Green Light podcast with Chris Long. Great interviewer. He knows ball, and he's somebody that can get positive reactions out of people. That is me cueing the video. This is the video right here. Cueing the video. As we grow this, the more you like it, I can have somebody behind the scenes queuing up the video for me. And as always, let me know if it doesn't play. But this is Dan Campbell with the ultimate praise for JMO.
Holy shit, he has arrived.
Oh man, honestly, I would probably say, I would probably say late 23. When we started to make our run, got into the playoffs. He made some plays at San Francisco, really in that kind of stretch. But then I was like, okay, man, he's figuring it out now.
Yeah.
He's starting to figure it out. He's buying into everything. He's the armor is dropped. He's all in, and he has grown so much. Like no player has developed more as a player and just as a teammate like JMO has in his really, I guess, going on 4 years. And I'm proud of the kid, man, and I love what he's made of. And he doesn't hide it. He is who he is. But, man, he is all in. He's all in with his team, and he loves the guys next to him. And Sucker plays hard, man. He'll mix it up in the run game. He's explosive on the perimeter. And I love where he's at right now.
Yeah, we get Jack Campbell a little bit.
Then they get into the great stuff too. Watch the interview. It's really good. They talk about Jack Campbell, Penei Sewell. So I got it. Pushing the buttons made and this microphone's powerful. What'd you guys think? That fired me up. JMO, I feel like big year ahead. And also too, who do you guys compare JMO to? I'm curious because I went old school. I was watching the Dallas Cowboys documentary. Man, outside of being the ball possession receiver, and maybe I'm wrong, but man, JMO reminded me of Michael Irvin. I feel like Dan Campbell sees Michael Irvin in JMO. And if you just watch it, you just see what is going on. The aggressiveness of the Cowboys coach. That's Dan Campbell. You see the influence of Dallas on Detroit and what it looked like from the 90s. And I watched the first 3-4 episodes. I'm on the episode now when the Cowboys win the championship for the first time. It reminded me their 92 game against San Fran when they won. That was the Lions. That was their chance. I know Dan Campbell felt like they were the 92 Cowboys in 2013. Going to San Fran, it was like, that's probably why he was disappointed. Because he knew that team was special. That was the 92 Cowboys. Man. And it didn't happen. It's wild to think about that. Is JMO Michael Irvin? He doesn't have the volume of catch-ins, but this year could be the year he takes it at that level. Am I right? Am I wrong? Who do you guys compare JMO to across the league? There's nobody like him with the speed. Who does he remind you of? I'm curious just to see what you guys think. I see Dan Campbell and Jimmy Johnson. I see the manner in which the team was built. Jahmyr Gibbs getting after it. I know Michael Irvin was big and slow, but he got after it. He was always open. You know, it doesn't have to be a 1-to-1 exact ratio, but I feel like with the celebrations and the mindset and the free-flowing nature, the way they presented him, yeah, J-Mo's super fast. I mean, there's nobody like him in terms of speed. Wes Welker, I don't see that. Is it more like a Jamar Chase category light? Justin Jefferson? J-Mo will never be Michael Irvin. He catches the ball with his body, and that is his weak point. Yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I was looking more at the personality too. Maybe not the 1-to-1 physical traits. But man, Michael Irvin with that swagger, he had swagger. He was like, give me the ball. I feel like J-Mo's turning into that a little bit. The Lions offensive line. I'm telling you, man, I just see the, and listen, I have the Jimmy Johnson book, so I was in that mindset. 92 against, it was like literally would have been storybook. Would have been storybook because they would have destroyed the Chiefs. Destroyed them. Moss, maybe. It's interesting. In the comments, let me know. Who does J-Mo remind you of? But he's in a class by himself. So I feel like ending on a good note. J-Mo was praised by Dan Campbell. That sucker ball's hard. And he felt like in 2023, that's when J-Mo emerged. And there's a lot of respect given to a player. The large print edition. Doc, you're old. That's when I grew up watching football. The Giants in 89. Bill Parcells. The rivalry with the 49ers and the Cowboys came in. 91, Lions kicked their tail in. The whole Berline saga. Troy Aikman, team of the 90s, was supposed to be the Lions. Ended up being the Cowboys. Those are the rivalries I like, the Cowboys and the Niners. They were always in the NFC Championship. I remember the Giants and the 49ers NFC Championship game with Phil Simms, and then they get after it with Hostetler. Those were great rivalries, man. Joe Montana, then passing it off to Steve Young. That's when I started growing up watching football. How about them Lions with Wayne Fonts? 91. That's when it kicked off. Lions are close, I think. That's why I think that they're in that mindset. They're built the right way. They've brought the right mindset. It's just the one thing that I think that Brad Holmes misses is the external free agents. He's a little bit wary of going outside, and he got burned. I mean, Cam, you brought in a guy and probably got a talking to. Mr. Holmes, we're not going to need a Cam Sutton around these parts. Cam Sutton was in our building, and there was a search for him. Now, granted, he got off, and nothing was ever done, but that was a circus. Cam Sutton is missing. Technically, he's at the Lions Allen Park facility at the moment. But he just left. Oh, man. All right. Overall, again, my thoughts are I like the roster. There are great areas, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, tight ends, and then defensively, you got depth. You got issues potentially along the, tackle spot, depth-wise, center, cornerback, depth along the defensive end spot, the defensive line. There's concerns, but there's time to fix it. It could be happening as much as now. Tyreek Hill from Edith. I wanted that race. I wanted Brad to kind of do that when I asked him, hey, could Jameson beat Tyreek in a race? Be like, man, that guy works hard. He's super fast. Yeah, he could win. So that's my thoughts. Thank you guys for the couple hours. The 2 hours flew by. My goodness. I'm going to get outside a little bit. I think that, Tomorrow we'll do takeaways about the roster. We'll go more in depth. Probably put this podcast maybe in it, or at least the video component in it. Thank you guys for your support. If you got any last minute questions, let me know. We talked about the concern about Ahmed. He could come back, but it's not guaranteed. It's not a guarantee. It would have been more favorable if they put him on IR, but it's not a guarantee. He accepted the injury settlement, and he has to wait plus 3 weeks for the length of the injury, plus another month after his expected return. There's 1,100 people in here total, man. Thank you so much. Between the two platforms, X, I got love for you there, at Detroit Podcast. Here, smash the like button. Give me your comments. Oh, let me, okay, I got 5 minutes. I'll share the funny story and the nice response. I can't leave you guys hanging. Sorry. So what was this hubbub about with the reporters? It's nothing. It's minor, but it's personal to me. Simply put, it's personal to me. You want to be respected amongst your peers. That's it. Just as a normal human being, right? So how do you show me respect? Hey, put me on your tracker when I break some news. It's not like I'm going to the combine and spending all that money and enjoying all that food and not developing relationships. Okay, so yesterday I had fun with it and said, hey, how is it possible that all the others have not found at Detroit Podcast and reported that Mason Miller was let go? It was unfortunate. It was not terribly unexpected. He's young. He's developing. He's got a chance to come back on the practice squad. And I reported it the second I found out. I had the information. I developed a relationship and figured it out. And so the second I found out, like everybody else, most reporters got at least one, except a couple of people didn't make any attempt to do that. I wanted to at least develop one good relationship. And so I did. And I have a relationship with a lot of the players and their representatives. I made the effort. It's part of the job. I think it's part of the job to at least try. If you're a trustworthy reporter, you should try. But okay, I put it out there, and not a single person put it on their tracker. Not a one. And how do I know this? Because I trust everybody else. I include everybody else in my tracker. I'm looking at every single report, checking everybody's stuff, subscribing to everybody. But when it comes down to returning the favor, that didn't happen. Into today. So I joked around yesterday and said, maybe Doc's invisible. Maybe at Detroit Podcast really isn't real. It's just a figment of my imagination, that I really didn't put that out there. And I said, I did report that, didn't I? Now, of course, it's a third stringer offensive lineman, but others reported about linemen that got released. Now, it's not that hard. My face is on Detroit Sports Podcast. You don't have to put my name. You can put Detroit Sports Podcast. You can put Free Press. You can put Detroit News. But for everybody to ignore it is a little bit weird, right? So I joked around yesterday and I said, hey, guys, go to the reporters and ask them on their podcast, why did you ignore Mr. John Macaroon? Why did you do that? I have a natural curiosity. I'm a psychologist. And of course, I didn't think anybody would do it. I don't think it happened yesterday. So I'm having coffee with my friend. I'm actually sharing with him the story. I'm like, it's kind of weird. I'm wondering what's going on. It's just normal. Hey, throw me a bone. You see me out there every day. I'm working just as hard as you, maybe even harder to prove myself. And they still didn't do it all day. It was weird. It was weird. And I was like, and to me, it's weird. And so I'm like, what's going on here? Is there a concerted effort? Now, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I like to think that way for my own motivation. But as I was doing that, the second I was doing that, I was joking with my friend, and he's like, bro, what the heck's wrong with you? Do you really care about that? I'm like, not really, but it's a little bit. I'm human. Like, to a degree, I care a little bit. 2 people today messaged and told those reporters, hey, why don't you have Mr. Macaroon's report? It made me feel good. And they didn't do it based off of the recommendation from the podcast. they just said, hey, we think you're a trustworthy guy. And it made me feel good. So I'll share it. That was nice. It was really nice. And probably, like I said, I'm a big believer in the big man upstairs. The big man upstairs needed to have somebody message that for my own stuff, my own thing. So it's funny. It's really cool. So that's it. That's all. You just want respect amongst your peers. And to the degree, how much do I care? 40% ish, 40%, I think. I'm doing fine, getting after it. So I shouted out the guy that did it. And I'm looking for the tweet here before I get out of here. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun here. It's a reply. And so it was cool. I replied back and said, hey, man, thank you. That was really nice. That was really cool of you to, I'm like, hey, I'm enjoying the bit. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I'm a first timer. I don't listen. But he said something really nice. So here it is. I'm going to share it. And like I said, it's important to bring it up because it's important to me. In the grand scheme of things, it's relatively insignificant, but it's important to me. So a report says, hey, on August 25th, here is my tracker. Good job. And this guy right here, Sirloin, says, reporter, thought I saw Mason Miller was released. You're still showing on your tracker, which is inaccurate, 1 out of 15 offensive linemen cut, which was inaccurate. And I said, hey, man, that's really nice. Check in. I'm going to share your tweet today. It meant a lot to me. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I don't know the bit you're talking about. And I'm like, you know what? We're sharing a smile because Body by Coors as well wrote something. And so this was the nicest tweet right here. This was the nicest one. This makes it all worth it to me. I don't know what the bit is. I assume you're a reliable source, Doc. I don't know what the beat relationships are like. I just personally like you both. That's all you can ask for. The trust of the people. That I have. I know that from the numbers, from the daily podcast, 1,200 people in here right now across 2 platforms. So that I achieved. That was through hard work. The final step, and I don't know, it's like, is it really competition? You know, I'm an outside podcaster. I'm doing the things I'm doing. But when it's across the board, everywhere, that's weird. Not one colleague saw it. Well, probably half of them muted me because I probably direct messaged them something stupid. But they see me. They see me walking in there every single day. I'm not a part-timer. So how is it possible that their tracker that they call professional missed one? They were on it for everybody else. Go look. Their trackers are still live. They missed one all across the board. So I was having fun with it on my X. I was like, at Detroit Podcast has them all, because I was going to their platforms and checking out everybody, being responsible. They literally were inaccurate. It was weird, but in the end, I'll just bring it up and say, hey, I noticed it because I'm looking at all your stuff. You should have the same courtesy and professionalism to acknowledge somebody that's in the room. Open your eyes, because I'm not going anywhere. Now, you can say, I don't do X, I don't do this, I don't do that. I had it on my tracker. So you should be looking at my tracker at least once. You don't have to come to my X. Come to the tracker. Because I'm doing the exact same job you're doing. So that means you're negligent. Or you just are willfully disregarding me, which I do not like. I'm sensitive. I'm a Pisces. But in the end, I'm loud. So I'm going to tell you, I noticed all your trackers didn't have the Doc's report. So thank you to those two people who, Phil, what's a tracker? Every site recorded who got cut when they knew it. Every single one. It just says, hey, we know who got cut when. And they were all inaccurate. Every single one of them, except Lions on SI. But that just means I'll work harder. I'll be louder. And I'm going to tell them, hey, guys, you missed one. But why? Think about it. If you're in my shoes, all of them missed it? 9 brains with the caliber that we got in Detroit missed it? Yeah, it's nonsensical. But thank you for listening. And thank you for Sir Loin and Gary. You made my day. I do this for your guys' respect. I hope I earned it for these 2 hours. Man, these 2 hours are flying by. Can I do 4? 2 hours is my time. Thank you. Hopefully I've earned your trust. Hopefully you question, why would they ignore me? Am I real? Was this real? Did I post that tweet? At Detroit Podcast. Did I say it if nobody read it? We'll talk tomorrow. We'll get after it. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. And you guys make my day. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the jokes, the initial reaction to the roster. We'll go deeper tomorrow. Maybe a little less side stuff and go intently on what happened with the roster. Maybe there'll be more moves to be made. But I'll say this, okay? Humbly, I think we could say, humbly, you 1,200 people will know first if Mr. Mason Miller makes it on the practice squad. There's a good chance I'm going to know about it. So they may not acknowledge it on their practice squad tracker, but follow me because I don't discount people that are doing the job. If Mason Miller ends up on the practice squad, we will know it as the community. I'm invisible. I'm not real. What are you guys doing tonight? I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. What are you guys doing? I'm going to enjoy the sun a little bit for a couple hours, refresh a little bit, really dig into my analysis of my dismissal. I'm being dismissed. Am I being canceled? Maybe I was canceled on the down low and they didn't tell me. Because I leave a lot of times. They have time to talk about me when I leave. I go to the press conferences, type real fast, and leave. Because I got 50 other things to do than BS with them. Maybe I got canceled. I didn't even know it. Like, hey, cancel him. Now, I'm kidding. We are all friendly. I joke with them all. But I am friendly with everybody. Everybody sees me smile. I say hi to everybody. We joke around. But I bet you they talk about me behind my back. I bet you they do. That guy's a clown. Bet you they say it. Am I paranoid? Probably paranoid. Now, the funny part is that I told the guy on the team, I'm making it a bit. Like, I truly don't care. It's just funny, and I'm going to talk about it on a show for my own entertainment. Because you guys know me, and you know humbly, even if I was beefing with the biggest beef with somebody, and there was information they had, I would share it and credit them. So what does it say about them? Just ask yourself that question. One, at the very least, they're not doing their job properly. Do your job properly. Or as Dan would say, do your job. Know what's being put out there. And if you skip the doc, you're missing information. So with that said, I feel a lot better. I feel cleansed. I've been officially probably realized I've been canceled. We've had our proper discussions throughout this 2-hour period. I feel so much better. My tracker was the most accurate. I win the tracker award this year. I take the trophy humbly. I'd like to thank my friends. I'd like to thank my best friend who enjoyed 2.5 hours of coffee and shared, laughed, and shared. He told me this is the stupidest bit you've ever come up with. And I said, I know. I said, keep following me. There's more to come. They skipped it. They just skipped the whole name. And outside of me, the poor man had a situation happen to him. Why'd you ignore him? Exactly. Questionably, but within the realm of trying. I don't ignore anybody. So with that said, finally, Doc's happy. Hope you're happy. Share a laugh. Visit Lions on SI. Joke around with all the reporters. Have a good laugh. And let's go. There's the Detroit Lions team now to start breaking down. It's real. It's here. It's here. We can break down the Lions 53-man roster. I'm excited. I'm fired up. I could probably do another 2 hours. I really could. I love this, and I love that you guys have given me a platform. 1,150 people. Man, it's going to make when I pick the time, hopefully maybe around 4-ish when I do it. I might do it 3-4 days a week. You guys have humbled me and allowed me to do this. We'll pick a time. We'll start discussing what's the best time. Let's go, baby. I'm the Doc, John Macaroon. This has been the Detroit Lions Lone Wolves podcast. Hopefully you're entertained, laughed, a little motivated, and I helped give you a little information about the team you love. I love what I do, and I love being a podcaster. Peace and love. Let's talk tomorrow.